Check, check. 1, 2, 3, check. Okay, so the audio seems to be working, and if I look different, that's because I had a haircut. So ignore that. Let's check the stream quality. Seems to be fine. Okay, perfect. Okay, so for people watching this replay, this is just me waiting for people to show up because I don't think there's anyone here. Sometimes the chat doesn't work on the phone, so yeah. Anyways, if you are here, just send a hi because yeah, for some reason the chat doesn't work. Half the time it doesn't work, so yeah. I think it's because of YouTube Advanced, maybe. I don't know. Okay, so Ria is here. Ria, does the YouTube chat like bug out for you just because you're using YouTube Advanced app as opposed to YouTube? I think you're using YouTube Advanced, so I don't know. That's weird. We'll just wait for a few more minutes, seconds. Go Ducks, go. Okay, Jeet is here as well. Also, it's kind of weird once you listen to your own voice because I'm kind of saying something and now I'm hearing myself on the, YouTube. But yeah, see now, now I'm not getting any feedback because all the voice is going through here, but now I'm just confused. I'm wondering why. No mind. Okay, so you're not using YouTube once because you're facing some issues. What are those issues? Could you like type it out if possible? Like, cause YouTube Vans should work pretty like uh, clearly. Is I don't know. For some reason, I don't know why it doesn't work for you. But I've been using YouTube Vans since you know how long, and it works fine. You are offline. What do you mean you are offline? Oh, you are getting the bug which says you are offline. Oh yeah, there's an easy fix for that. So if you in the recent time, if you change your Google settings, Google account settings, or if you even if you change your password or any security settings at all, YouTube Vans will log you out. It will literally be like, hey, yo, what's up? I don't know you. So it will try to do that. So all you have to do is you have to just log in through micro G, and you should technically be uh, logged in. You just follow the entire procedure which I have written down. You just uninstall everything and you just install it back. That does work most of the time. So yeah, I'm using advanced and facing now. Okay, perfect, cool. Also, for some reason, okay, just to clarify, I'm using Firefox right now. I think it's just the three of us. So I'm using Firefox right now, and remember how we discussed how Firefox will take less memory than Brave? Turns out that's not true. It's taking more memory than Brave, and my laptop is heating up for no reason. So yeah, I guess stick to Brave, don't switch to Firefox. But yeah, your mileage may vary. Anyways, let's start with our news. Enough chit chat. Okay, so the first story of the week is uh, why is the number of viewers not increasing? I can only see. Oh, yeah. So you might have to click on you might have to stop looking at the chat. You might have to just close the video and open it up again. Because that does happen. Right now, it says the viewers are 4 on the PC, on the laptop, but on my phone, for some reason, it's stuck at 3 as well. So I don't know, just close and join again, maybe. So I don't know, because the playback is going up, the concurrent view, the graph that I'm seeing, it's going up. But I don't know what's happening. Maybe there are only actually 3 viewers, so just share the link. Anyways, we'll just start with the news, more viewers or not. People can just watch this in the rewatch. Okay, cool. So unsecured AWS server exposed 3 terabytes of data. 3 terabytes, guys, that's a lot of data in an airport employee security records. So basically, AWS, Amazon Web Services, if you don't know about it, it's just basically like a cloud infrastructure. They provide cloud services, web services, AWS. Basically, they got hacked. They have these buckets. Buckets are basically storage containers where you just put data in. Uh, they are kind of So you'll be like, hey, why don't they just use Google Drive? No. Amazon buckets, they are just for storage. They are much more cheaper than getting paid storage on Google Drive, and that wouldn't even seamlessly work with Amazon services. Anyways, they got hacked, and there's 3 terabytes of data on, of employee data. So yeah, just if you for some reason there's nothing you can do about this. All you can do is you can just provide your fake emails, or you can just provide an alias to your email. But yeah, just it's a data breach. Moving on to the next story. Fortune 500 service provider says ransomware attack led to a leak of more than 500,000 SNNs. Okay, that's social security numbers. So that's like 521,046 people were affected. That's a very precise figure. But yeah, these many people were affected by the data breach. And yeah, so yeah, this happens a lot. Once again, please make sure that the data you put, your email addresses and stuff, you use different passwords, and you actually use different email addresses or different aliases of email addresses. So if you have an iPhone or a MacBook, you will know there's something known as hide my email, like if you sign in through Apple. Or you can just use a service like DuckDuckGo addresses, like DuckDuckGo mail, and or simple login or anon ID or whatever you want. Even Firefox has it, Firefox Relay. So yeah, definitely look into those services. I personally use DuckDuckGo addresses. I find it convenient, but whatever helps you. Moving on to the next story. British Council exposed more than 100,000 files with student records. Okay, so all those people out there be like, hey, we should do it for the kids. What we are just, taking down encryption to make sure we catch those pedophiles, or we catch those people. Think of the children, think of the security. Where British Council itself exposed more than 100,000 files, and that includes username, passwords, addresses, social security numbers, all that stuff. And basically these are the administrators who administrated the IELTS exam, which you might know, or the TOEFL exam, right? So these are Excel spreadsheets, and worst thing about is this data is perfectly organized for those people to look through. These are JSON files or XML spreadsheets. That means it's perfectly it's perfectly searchable if someone wants to. So yeah, that sucks. Also, the thing was, this happened to be on the Azure blob container, which is very similar to an AWS bucket. So yeah, web services, if you use a cloud computer, make sure your keys and passwords are secure. But yeah, anyway, the exposed information included full name, email addresses, student ID, student status, enrollment dates, duration of study, and all the notes that they might have taken. So yeah, there's an example here you can see of what was the data. But yeah, that's basically it. Make sure your data is secure. Okay, moving on to the next news. AirTags with deactivated speakers being sold on eBay and Etsy. Okay, AirTags, if you do not know what AirTags are, they are basically small $30 tracking device. They are basically the cheapest thing Apple is offering. These are like small tracking GPS devices. They don't have GPS inside them. Can you improve? Sejaj, how is this the issue with you every single time? Just why don't you increase the quality? I am using HD right now, and it works perfect. It just works perfect. I don't see any issue. Ria G, do you guys see any issue with the video quality? Sajad, I think you should look into your YouTube settings. Anyway, coming back to the story, the AirTag, basically they can be used to keep track of your devices, right? Your keys, your wallets, whatever important, even your bag, your bicycle. If they do get stolen, whenever, you can just open up your iPhone and you can be like, hey, okay, there's my AirTag, I'm gonna just track it, right? A similar concept was for Tile. Now AirTags work so efficiently because they rely on the Find My network. Now Find My network is basically every single MacBook, iPhone, iPad, any Apple device. They have this, I'm not kidding, the quality is highest at what? Okay, I just got a text from Sejat. Sejat, that doesn't make sense. What are you using the native YouTube app? Is that the YouTube app? Hopefully you can just put it down in the chat. That's very weird. Everyone else, Ajad, is getting like HD. I think, oh, you know what you can do is you can take the link and you can open this video in your browser, like in your Chrome or Brave, or maybe even on your laptop. I'm pretty sure it works fine because it works on every single, like, I think you are the odd one out here. But we will look into that next live. Okay, so yeah, basically, as I was saying, those AirTags, every single Apple device has this Find My network, which means that Bluetooth, they talk to each other using Bluetooth and high frequency waves. That means even if your AirTag does not have internet or GPS, it is constantly in contact with the nearest Apple device, or an iPhone, and it constantly updates its location on the on the web. So if you have an iPhone, or if you know someone who has an iPhone, just use a Find My service. It works amazing. It's even better than the Google Find My phone app. But yeah, it just works perfectly because uh, crowdsourcing. Anyways, moving on to the next story. German petroleum petrol supply firm oil tanking paralyzed by a cyber attack. Now, a cyber attack, basically what happened is, if you don't remember, before a few months, there was a similar cyber attack in US, which led to people hoarding petrol or gas or diesel and all that stuff. Because of this cyber attack, these petrol pumps, or these gas stations, they are unable to function properly, and that's one of the issues. But yeah, that's basically it. You can read into more detail. It's a supply stable but volatile. That's a good pun. Anyways, moving on. Shell forced to reroute supplies after cyber attack on two German oil companies. So Shell, one of the petroleum companies, they were forced to reroute supplies after the cyber attack. It's a connected story. But yeah, that's basically it. You can read more about this if you want. And moving on to the next story. Researchers use GPU fingerprinting to track users online. Now, this is something that we did talk about last time, that your GPU or your CPU can be used to fingerprint you, and we do have an upcoming tracking story right next. So your GPU can be, see, the issue with tracking usually happens in a number of ways. We will soon check that they can track your battery percentage, your screen resolution, and all that stuff, right? Now, you can technically, in theory, change those things. You can emulate those things differently, your MAC address as well. If you go into your Wi-Fi details right now, there will be an option turned on named randomize MAC addresses. That's to make sure that you do not get tracked on a Wi-Fi, right? Now, that makes perfect sense. But if something is tracking your GPU, the only way to change your tracking or your fingerprint is to change your GPU, right? Because no two persons in this world are gonna have the same GPU fingerprint. They can have the same GPU, but they will not have the same GPU fingerprint. Now, what do I mean by GPU fingerprint? The specs of the GPU, right? So if they are running at a specific gigahertz, if they are running at a specific temperature, that will vary from person to person, or from device to device. Even if you and your friend have, like, let's say, a 3.2 gigahertz CPU or a GPU, they will not run at those exact frequencies. So that will that can be used to fingerprint you. But yeah, that kind of sucks. You look so much beautiful in the browser, but I can't chat with you there. Said what you can do is, you can turn, like, you can watch the video in browser, and you can come back to a YouTube app to chat, or you can just use your laptop. So this is a very weird problem, but I don't know, it's just kind of funny. Anyways, we're gonna go to a highlight story of the week, which is DuckDuckGo, which is in the video title if you didn't read. DuckDuckGo app tracking protection. Okay, so DuckDuckGo announced this a while back, before a few months. It was announced on 18th of November 2021, which also happens to be a birthday of a dear friend. Anyways, so they announced this, tracking app protection, which basically works as a VPN on your device. Okay, now a VPN does not always mean that you're going to change your IP address. No, a VPN on your device would just mean all of your data is going through DuckDuckGo, and DuckDuckGo is selectively blocking those data, right? Now, I'm going to lose the chat functionality here for some minute, because I'm going to show you guys. Actually, I can run the video side by side, but I don't want to do that. Anyways, let me show you. I also have to disable notifications and stuff, just so. Okay, Give me like 1 minute. Okay, I'm just gonna start this server. Also, if you're wondering, oh, Aman is, exposing his IP address. Oh no, this is local IP address. You are more than welcome to go here. But anyway, hopefully you guys can see my screen right now. I have no way of confirming. Hold on, I think I can. In the chat, Ria, it's a different thing from firewall. Guys, in the chat, can you confirm if you see my screen? Like my phone screen, if that makes sense. So this is my home screen. It's a Mickey Mouse, but a broken down Mickey Mouse. Okay, perfect. We will get to that. Okay, anyways, so this is my screen, right? So these are my apps. I'm gonna go to DuckDuckGo app protection. Where is DuckDuckGo? So this is my DuckDuckGo browser. I go up here. Oh, let's convert $2.9. Let's not, yeah, never mind. We'll go to settings. We'll go to, so okay, there are two things in the settings. There is no way for me to zoom. Maybe I can try and zoom. Oh yeah, I can zoom. Okay, perfect. Anyway, so there are two options here, right? Email protection and app tracking protection. Those are the two things, right? Now, email protection is basically, as I told you, I can use DuckDuckGo's email address to, send my emails there, and then the email will come to me, like via, which is once again amazing. Like if you think about it, that's amazing technology. All the trackers and everything, that's blocked. But yeah, anyways, so as I was saying, app tracking protection. Okay, now I think I might have to zoom out again. Oh boy, this is way too messy. Okay, so this feature is in beta. I recently got into the beta testing. Okay, so over the past 3 days, I have this. Okay, so I had this at like, day before yesterday. And so over these 3 or 2 days, 17 apps have been trying to, track me. So one of my favorite apps, Spark Email, it's been trying to track me. So we'll just let's see the tracking information, right? So I'm just gonna try to zoom in here for you guys. Okay, so Amplitude is basically a data not protection, a data broker. So Spark Email is using Amplitude to track its user, right? So we'll just go through this one by one. So network connection type, which is basically very easy. It just means, am I using Wi-Fi? Am I using mobile data? So that's basically it. Okay, we're gonna go to the next one. OS build number. So that's the build number so if you're using Android 11, it will have a different OS build number. Depends on your security updates, and it's just what version of Android you are in, more or less. Device model, which depends on your phone once again. I have Moto G40 Fusion, so it will show up there. App version, which means the app that I'm using, Spark app. What is the app version of that? Network carrier. Am I using Airtel? Am I using Vodafone? Am I using BSNL? That stuff. Device brand, pretty self-explanatory. What's my device brand? OS version, time zone, GPS coordinates. So it has direct access to my location for some reason. It has my city, my headphone status, if I have headphones plugged in. Amazing stuff. What's next one? Unique identifier, right? Then font size, screen density. Screen density is the amount of pixels you have per inch. Usually you would have somewhere around 441 ppi, which is pixels per inch, which is around if you have a normal HD screen. App name, right? What's the app name that I'm using? Screen resolution, that's the actual resolution of the screen. Device language, Android advertising ID, state, country, device boot time. So when did my phone start up, right? When did I restart my phone less? So all of that stuff. So that's basically what Amplitude does. There are many. So for example, you can see Pi Network app is using Facebook services to collect my data. So this data is going to Facebook. In this stuff, you can see there's more, like way more data. There's like gender, there's device orientation. So if my phone is like, portrait or landscape, all that stuff. Cookies, system volume, even the volume. Like, am I on full volume? If my phone is on do not disturb or stuff. Rotation data, accelerometer. As I told you, accelerometer just means what my phone is doing at the moment. Am I laying down on my bed? Am I walking? Am I running? Is my phone falling? Did my phone fall from my hand? All that stuff along with the time information. So as you can see, this is the amount of data a company carries. Like you can see Instagram tried to track me like through Google. So Instagram tried to track me using Google's API, and yeah, Google actually takes up like way more like stuff. Also, let's hope like you people are watching. Otherwise, I'm just talking to no one. Anyway, so yeah, Google actually sees a lot of stuff. Once again, I will post screenshots of this if you want to see. But yeah, every single app that I'm using, it's gonna like keep on tracking me. Clash of Clans, for some reason, Clash of Clans is tracking me. Why? I just want to play games, man. And Uphold, obviously, Grow, the mutual fund app, is tracking me, obviously. You guys might be thinking, hey, these apps are very nice. You get free functionality. No, your data gets sold on the internet, right? Even Kotak Bank, Truecaller, obviously, Truecaller tracks me, Paytm, all the Paytm, even Brave Browser tried to track me, but I believe that's like a website that I went to, so I don't think that's Brave Browser's fault. But yeah, Wally, and even these apps that I didn't open Wally for like 2 days. I don't know how it's on here, but whatever, right? So yeah, that's basically it. Hopefully I'm gonna try to stop share my screen, and hopefully there's no issue. Okay, perfect. Right, so hopefully you guys can see my normal screen now. I'm just gonna go back to my normal view, and let's hope that works. Okay, I think I'm back. Okay, perfect. Yeah, I'm not talking to Ghost Jeet. Anyway, so yeah, that's basically it, right? That's my data. That's the data that you give up. So even if we don't give out location data, they will have your location data through your basically, what's the word? Your mobile network. So it will have a rough idea that if you're connected to I'm just gonna give you a a very easy example. If you're in Shivranjani in Ahmedabad, if you are connected to one of the Shivranjani towers of Vodafone, they will have a rough location that, oh hey, Jeet was at Shivranjani, right? So if you take a BRTS ride from Nehru Nagar to ISKCON, purely an example, you're gonna connect to Nehru Nagar's tower, then Jhansi Ki Rani, Shivranjani, and so on and so forth, and they can easily figure out if Jeet was just basically just taking the BRTS or went through this route. So yeah, they don't need to have you don't need to have your GPS turned on for them to track you. I hope that makes sense. Also, the Android permissions do matter, but even if you do not give Android permissions, they still have ways to track you. So yeah, these apps will track. Yes, they will track. I know this was a joint question, but yeah, they will track. Anyways, so moving on to the next story. Hopefully, I've scared you guys enough. Moving on to the next story is more companies are using multi-factor authentication. Hackers are looking for a way to beat it. Now, if you don't know what multi-factor authentication is, it's basically 2FA. Okay, every single time you try to do a payment on, let's say, Amazon, you put your card, you still have to put an OTP. You try to log in into a Google account from a different mail device, like from a different device, you have to put on OTP, or you have to click yes on your phone. That's your two factor. Okay, some people use 3-factor authentication. I am one of those people. So basically, to log into any one of my accounts, you need to have my password, you need to have my time-based OTP code, which generates on Bitwarden. Also, I realize it's not good practice for me to tell you guys like how these happen, but whatever. And also, you need my fingerprint to authenticate that OTP. So yeah, that's a 3-factor. You can go for 4-factor as well. At that point, you are using physical security keys to make sure that you are who you say you are, but you lose one of those things and you won't be able to log in. So I think 2-factor is somewhere like the a medium medium way. So yeah, you have 2-factor enable on all of your devices. So even if you do get hacked, hackers will not be able to join into those networks, social media, whatever. So yeah, 2-factor should be on, at least on your bank accounts, at least on your IPO accounts or your DMAT accounts or your social media. At least that stuff is important. Put a 2-factor on that. If you don't put 2-factor on Instagram, it's more easier for me to hack you. So don't do that. But whatever. Yeah, moving on to the next story is yeah, senators want Earn It bill to scan all online messages. Once again, this is a entire blog post by Electronic Frontier Foundation. You can check them out. They're awesome people. But anyway, senators in USA, they want every single online message to be scanned and documented. Why? Because it's more data. So that's why. Anyways, moving on to the next story is civil rights groups launch effort to stop IRS of use of flawed ID.me facial recognition. So this is basically a government, IRS, the revenue system, tax people. They are using a third-party system, ID.me, and if you have to pay your taxes, you have to, submit a selfie, which is funny for Indians because your selfie is already with the government. But the issue is it's not going through a third-party system. Once again, this story is for US, but I just want to make sure that you guys understand that US, this is kind of a new thing in US. People are freaking out, hey, do I have to now submit my selfie and all that stuff? But yeah, this is basically what's happening there. Next story is connected. The government also wants your selfies. This is just to make sure that your identities are verified and to reduce fraud. Once again, in India, this is a very common thing. Your selfies, your photos, the famous Aadhaar card photos are taken every single time you have to update your Aadhaar card. You just need, even if you just want an Aadhaar card, you need to provide your photo. So not just a photo, your fingerprints and your eye. You don't think about this, but your eye scan, that's way more important than any of those things. So if you try to go against, let's say, okay, just a disclaimer, Indian government is awesome. I'm I'm a national person. I'm a very enthusiastic about, the Indian thing. But if some government or someone got access to this data and they wanted to track you down, they could. All they have to do is just monitor the, live feed from video cameras. It's not that difficult. So if someone wanted to track you they could just track you with your mobile phone. But yeah, they can still track you even if you don't have a mobile phone. You see cameras at every single intersection. So yeah, India comes in the top 10 for cameras, per city capita wise. Do you want to know who comes in at 5th? China. Just letting you guys know. We are on the list. We are competing with China. That's good. Oh God. Anyway, moving to the next story. Edmonton police implement facial recognition technology to help fast-track investigations. Sajad, yes, people of US are kind of serious about the privacy. Yes. They are only serious about the things that they know about. So they are like, hey, oh, I don't want to provide my selfie. That's my private information. So yeah, they are serious about it. But if they do not know about the things they are getting tracked about, they are gonna they are kind of ignorant. I'm not gonna marginalize the entire US, but yeah, most of the people are, and even if normal people, non-tech savvy people are not, at least the tech savvy people are like, hey, listen, this is wrong. So yeah, I hope one day India is that capable, but I'm sorry, I didn't mean capable, aware. So yeah, anyways, police implement this facial recognition technology. This is basically an internal thing. So this is just to go through their own records. This does not mean that they are monitoring live camera feed, which is one of the uses of facial recognition is anyone can do this. Even if you are not an experienced coder, if you just know basic coding, you can come up with a facial recognition algorithm by this. It's not that difficult. But yeah, once again, it's a new and upcoming technology, and I think we all need to be educated about it, good or bad, doesn't matter. Moving on to the next story. Court orders websites to stop embedding Google fonts for GDPR violation. Now this is okay. We need face cam for this. Okay, so GDPR. You guys know about GDPR. It's basically European websites are like, hey, we do not want you to track European citizens. Only we can do that. Third-party companies cannot, which is kind of a good thing, but okay. They want companies to not track people. Now, websites, they have this Google font. So if you make a website, it's easier to just use Google fonts, right? So if websites are using Google fonts, and even if website has this consent banner that, hey, are you okay with us tracking? And there's not really a no option. So you just click yes. The issue is not only the website is tracking your IP address, every single time you load Google fonts, your IP address will go to Google server. That's one way of tracking. They're not actually tracking on purpose, but your IP address still goes to Google services because you are loading the Google font. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Like, you are just getting tracked just for loading a piece of website. But yeah, that's what it is, right? So basically, from in future, if you try to visit some European websites, or if you stay in Europe or any part of the Brexit or European thing, you will now have an extra consent form. Either the website removes Google Fonts, which I don't think is happening, or you will have to click on an extra I accept form. It's highly unlikely this happens worldwide, but still something to know about. Anyway, back to the default story, and I've lost my window capture. This happens every single time. Yeah, this is my desktop, and go back to this. Okay. Perfect. So yeah, that's the story. Last few stories. Mozilla is adding a multi-account container to VPN offering. So Mozilla has their own VPN. Something Firefox has their own, which is just a branded version of Mulvad VPN. It's kind of cheaper. It's not available in India yet. But it has this multi-account container. So if you're using the VPN, if you're visiting a website, say Facebook, and then you decide to visit Google or Amazon, those three websites do not know that you are also visiting other websites. I hope that makes sense, right? So Google doesn't know that you also that you are also currently visiting Amazon and Facebook, and you'll be like, Aman, isn't that the default? No, that's not the default. Google can easily figure out what other websites are open in your background tabs. Anyways, this is a multi-account, so every single instance is sandboxed. So yeah, it's like you are open. It's like you are getting a new computer every single time you are opening a new website. So tracking you is gonna be difficult, which is a good thing. So yeah, last few stories. Yeah, multi-account. Why, I don't know why the story is two times. Okay. Proton Mail has their own bridge. It's just a UI change. If you use Proton Mail, this is kind of related to you. If you don't know what a bridge is, don't worry, you don't need to know about this. I don't know why I even put the story in, but I think it's interesting. If you use Proton Mail, this is for you. Moving on to the last three stories of the week. This is kind of important to people who are, in the security space. Finding vulnerabilities in open source projects now does count as, bug bounty. So if you find a bug in open source projects, you will get money. So if you don't know, okay, face cam time. Okay, so if you do not know, you might be thinking, hey, what hackers do? They just hack people's Instagram, right? That's how they earn money. No. Well, if you are a hacker or a security researcher, what basically happens, or people who are, thinking of, okay, I think my audio is like going through the roof. Okay, if you are thinking of becoming a security researcher and stuff, yeah, audio is fine. If you're thinking of becoming a security researcher or hacker or stuff, basically what happens is you work for companies, right? Or you find some bugs. Even normal people, if you're just some person who tries to experiment a lot, and if you find a bug, let's say you find a bug in Instagram, and if you report that bug to Instagram, there's a good chance that you might get money. If it's a smaller bug, you might get $1,000, which is 70,000 rupees, which is, you're getting that for free. That's like 0.75 iPhone. So why wouldn't you want that? Or you can, if you find a big enough bug, there are prizes for bug bounties which go up till $20,000. Not rupees, dollars. $20,000. That's a lot of money, guys. So yeah, that's isn't that what ethical hackers do? More or less. This is more of a side thing. Once again, if you are someone who loves to experiment, there's this story that someone found a bug in Instagram which would bypass OTP and stuff. Now, normal people would be like, "Oh wow, that was weird." Anyways, I'm just gonna close the app and open it again. This kid, it was literally a kid. They went to Instagram and like, "Hey, I found a bug," and Instagram is like, "Okay, good boy, thank you. Here's your $10,000." And that actually happened. If you want to search out for it, I believe it was a kid who found vulnerability for OTP bypassing or like OTP timeout and stuff. Go ahead and check it out. It's a real story. You hear about even kids in India Some 14-year-old kid would find one vulnerability in Google or something and they get like $20,000, like a few lakhs of money, and here you are sitting with your crypto portfolio and applying for IPO, and you're not gonna get lakhs of money by just sitting and doing that. And there's this kid, 14-year-old, 7 or 10 years younger than you, and he is more richer than you will ever be. Okay, not ever be, but in the next 2 years at least. So yeah, it's an interesting stuff. Bug bounty, look into it. Going back to our story, hopefully that was not too demoralizing. My window is once again gone for some reason. Oh boy. Okay, perfect. Last story of the week is. Oh wait, this is not the last story. Oh yeah, last two stories. A look at the new sugar ransomware. Okay, so now people who thought, oh, ransomware just affects bigger, big companies and stuff. It won't affect me. Well, wrong. This new ransomware is going to it's going to attack normal people. It's gonna have ransoms way low. Okay, so for companies, the ransom is usually millions of dollars, and you be like, hey, at that point, no one's gonna target me. I don't have millions of dollars. They have lower ransoms. So basically, if they hack you, they'll be like, okay, that would be $1,000 for your data. And imagine that data includes photos from that the only single copy of that specific photo, or your family album or something. That's important to you. And I know some people who would pay that money. Imagine if it's like 10,000 and you have your important documents, which you have only the single copy of. So make sure you update your antiviruses. And for people using McAfee on your laptop and thinking, oh, hey, it's an antivirus. It's not. It's a virus. Remove McAfee. Just use Windows Defender. That is more than enough. If you want to if you are actually more conscious about security, get Quick Heal. Don't get Kaspersky. Get Quick Heal. They have a good plan. It's like a one-time payment of 700 rupees for a year, which is more than enough. But yeah, go for Guardian or Quick Heal or something, or Noton even. But yeah, make sure you have an antivirus software and make sure you follow security practices and do not download random stuff from the internet. Okay, I found a bug in YouTube. I don't see 10,000 subscribers. Sorry, can I report this bug? Say, Judge, do that. I'll give you money. Okay, last story of the week. If you know NordVPN and Surfshark VPN, they are merging. And it's basically VPNs are now getting consolidated. You do not see new VPNs any day now, right? So yeah, this is what happening. NordVPN and Surfshark. There, Surfshark. It's funny because on Surfshark VPN, the person handling the VPN, they're like, "Hey, NordVPN is our competitor. We are never gonna merge with them." And after a few months, now they are merging. So it's kind of funny. But yeah, now they're not gonna give out any details. But yeah, they will continue to operate autonomously, but they are now under a single branch, which is not good for privacy. Competition is always good in tech in any kind of market. If you come from a commerce line, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, that's basically it. They have had a merger. This happened on last Wednesday. I guess last to last Wednesday. But yeah, that's basically it. And yeah, now VPNs are basically getting so consolidated that ExpressVPN or iVPN and stuff, they are now getting merged together, and which is really bad. But yeah, what can you do? Also, people, you be like, hey, I see a lot of VPNs on Google Play. Are those like actual they owned by these companies? Okay, the VPNs that you see on Google Play are basically there to just take your data away. So do not use a free VPN. Please do not use a free VPN. If you do, make sure it's open source. Okay, use Calyx VPN or use Argo VPN. They are really nice. Argo or Agro VPN, one of them. They are really nice. Do not use free VPN like Tunnel Bear VPN or whatever that random name is, or that Bunny VPN or something. Don't use this VPN. Please do not. You will get hacked 9 times out of 10. Don't do it. Okay, if you want a free VPN, Estudely, we're gonna who's their biggest competition now after the merger? I believe it's the people who own ExpressVPN, private internet access, and a third name that I'm blanking out on. But yeah, those people are now together, and I believe it's the I believe the name is Scape Technologies. I think it's given here. But yeah, those are their next big competitors, which I mean is, yeah, it sucks, but it is what it is. Anyways, that's it for today's live. Once again, as I was saying, if you want to use a VPN, we do have some suggestions in Telegram channel. If you don't want to pay money, just use those VPNs. If you want to just use a free VPN, or if you just want to go bypass a certain censorship imposed by the Indian government, or any government to be frank. So yeah, do that. And yeah, that's basically it for today's tech news. You can find us on Telegram. We have an amazing community on Telegram. We do try to regularly give out app suggestions, open source app suggestions and stuff. And we also have this amazing community on Telegram group, where if you have a question, you can just come down there and ask that question, and people will try to help you, be it regarding tech or general things related to tech, or things related to tech, or just programming in general. Python, C++, we have a lot of developers. But yeah, that's basically it. If you liked the chat, the live, if you're not subscribed, just subscribe right now, and make sure you share this live video with your friends. Even though the live is done, you can still share it and people will still watch it, which kind of helps me out. So yeah, and also ring that notification bell. So I mean, I know YouTubers do this, but still do this. And yeah, that's basically it. We're trying to reach 1000 subscribers on YouTube. As you can see, we are very close. Okay, so even if 3 of you people ask other 3 people to subscribe to this and ask them to subscribe, we're gonna have like 27 new subscribers. And if they ask other 3 people, we're gonna have 81. And if they ask other 3 people, we're gonna have 243. And I'm just sitting here doing maths while people are saying good night in the chat. But yeah, that's basically it. Thank you for joining. And yeah, it's a pyramid scheme. It is a pyramid scheme. I'm not kidding. You will earn nothing, which is kind of a good thing. You will earn in knowledge points. So could the next live be about Edward Snowden? We have a podcast. We will, unofficial announcement, we will have a podcast this Tuesday, where we're gonna talk about a specific topic